Welcome to Creepy Conversations. I'm Unicorn Nikki.
And I'm Kalai. That's it. Oh, by the way, this week we're going to be talking about... I'm going right into our stories.
Go ahead.
But we're going to be talking about, ghosts from Myanmar. I just found out that that's how you pronounce it. Myanmar.
Love it.
Not Myanmar. Because the entire time we were taught that it was pronounced as Myanmar, right?
I mean, I still call it that. And to be honest, I've met a Burmese guy here. Is that what you still call them? Sorry if that's the wrong term, but that's all I know.
Myanmar.
No, a person.
From Myanmar?
Yeah, but I met someone and I referred to their country as Myanmar, and he didn't care.
Yeah. They usually don't care, but when
Low-key.
they call it themselves, they call it as Myanmar.
We
So
need to learn
that's
that.
what I'm doing. Trying to sink into
Yeah.
their, camouflage with them. What is happening with my mouth?
Wait, oh my god, before we continue with anything, I would just like to apologize to the listeners because my device is not picking up my microphone, so the audio quality on my side would be shit. That's what happened to the previous episode, and hopefully it's not as bad for this episode because I'm using a different device, but still no microphone. Just setting expectations here.
Yeah, we're trying our best.
I know.
Season 3 is happening, even though we have technical difficulties.
Almost every time.
Yeah, that is so true. But yeah, back to Myanmar. While we are recording this, what's happening there right now isn't good. We'll get into that, a bit at the end of the episode if you want to know more. But for this episode, I honestly had a hard time researching about these ghosts because I remember early last year when I was planning to do this, there were more results on Google compared to this year. And then I found out that there are a lot of sites, like entertainment sites and news sites, that were either shut down or are now controlled by the junta, so maybe that's why.
Oh, wow. Oh, and speaking of ghosts, I just want to thank Lisa C. She's our listener who used to be very active on our socials, and I'm sorry because we could not keep up. But her last message to us was about the Jiangxi episode. She was like, it's very entertaining. I was listening to your episode. And she gave us this little bit of detail, which I think is quite cute. And she said that the reason why the Jiangxi is scared of chickens is because it signals the light of day and they're scared of light. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. But I wish I saw this earlier because she sent that over in October last year. So it's too late to kind of react right now. But if you're still listening to us, thank you very much. This is very heartwarming to receive messages from our listeners.
Yeah, very, very. And we want to hear more.
Yes.
You can actually leave reviews still on iTunes if you want to, so that we can see them.
I love how we're like, oh, we're getting giddy about it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and let's proceed with our story. What was I about to say? Yeah, let's think of Myanmar today. Because, whatever is happening there isn't good, it's awful, but the least we could do is celebrate their culture and keep their stories alive and keep it going. So yeah, let's give love to their culture. So my sources for this week is Myanmar Times and BBC Travel.
I love how you get
I don't know why.
It's like, I have to say this right.
Because I'm literally talking about, loving their culture and,
For sure.
I retweet shit on Twitter about, respecting culture and whatever, and then I'm not, practicing what I'm preaching. So at least I can practice it now.
Yeah. I mean, the least we can do is try.
Yes, and then next thing we know, once this episode is released, people are like, well, that's not actually how you pronounce it.
I mean, let us know how. We
Yes,
want to know.
we would love to know. Anyway, so the first ghost that we'll be covering Also, I tried to look up the pronunciation. There isn't much. So I'm just guessing how this goes. So her name, they call her the Twisted Leg Lady, but in their country, in Myanmar, they call her Chai Kalien Ma. So that's her name. This ghost has a very specific favorite location to haunt. So she loves to haunt dark, lonely restrooms of girls' boarding schools. That's
It's so
like very specific.
Yes, it's like it has to be a girls' boarding school, but specifically the toilet.
Yeah, the restroom. And it specifically has to be the dark, lonely restroom, the one that they rarely use.
Moaning
It's like-
Myrtle.
She is kind of like Moaning Myrtle, but like her legs aren't
It's twisted.
normal. Yeah. So she frightens her victims by showing up to them in the form of a woman with crooked, disfigured legs. And then based on like the illustrations I see, they look like, if you've seen the movie Black Swan, the part where Natalie Portman, her character, there's a part where her legs get broken, like kind of like how swans are or whatever, like it transforms into like swan legs, and it looks like it's broken. That's how she is illustrated as. So yeah, it's really freaky. And then she looks like, you know, like an old lady. That's not really an old lady. Like she's, I think, probably not old, but her face looks old, and then she has broken legs. But even though she has disfigured legs, she can still run. If you meet her, it's not stated what she's going to do to you, but most likely she's not gonna do something good. Because why would she prefer that you're alone, right? So a way to avoid her, if ever she shows up, or like if you meet her, you're advised to run in a zigzag.
Serpentine
Don't
motion!
run straight. Yes, because she has an issue with running.
What?
Like that zigzag. She can usually catch her victims if you run straight, but if you do the zigzag line, like maybe she has poor like reaction time or like whatever, like
it's like, shit, my legs are too twisted for this, god damn it.
right. Oh my god, I didn't realize that. Like maybe she can't like zigzag herself, that's why she has a hard time.
I'm so glad we're doing this in the morning, because we're literally making fun of a ghost that could probably haunt us tonight. Okay, no, we don't live in a boarding school, so it's fine.
No. Yeah, that's true. Also, you're also advised to, better yet, just stay under covers and hold your pee until daybreak, because she only appears during the night. That, to me, is so hard, because even if I'm sleeping, I would literally wake up just to pee.
Same. Oh my god, I'm already crying. It's not even that funny, but like, I guess I haven't talked to someone funny in a very long time.
Why?
Oh, jeez, I need human interaction. Anyway, please continue.
Yes. So next one is called the Chi Sar Shon. So they're also known as the Feces Eating Witch. So
Stop, please. Why does it have, like, why does it involve the toilet and now the feces? Where are we going? Is this gonna get to the sewage later? Cause
no. This is the last one. I didn't even realize that at first it was like the toilet, and then now it's like shit. We're talking about shit. She loves to eat shit. So this witch, or this ghost, or a ghost witch, she's mainly a witch, but she's also considered as a ghost. You know, like in the Philippines, how like the ongo is like universal. It can be, she can also be a witch, or like whatever. But yeah, so in their country, in Myanmar, they have to study to become a witch. As it is when you're studying witchcraft, you do need to study, yeah. But for them, it's kind of like Hogwarts. Not really like they have to go to school, but they have mentors who like will teach them and will tell them if they passed or not. So if you're a good witch and you study hard, you become a powerful witch. But if you fail,
you eat shit.
you'll be transformed into Chi Sarshon, and you're gonna be destined to eat shit forever. I mean, they also eat corpses, but they mostly eat shit forever. And what's funny is that during the day, they pass as humans. They literally look like humans, but sundown, their heads detach from their bodies. Like we covered
Pinanga?
this.
Is that it? Or was that
Yeah.
the Japanese, like, it's kind of their manananggal still, but different?
Yeah. We've covered this, I'm pretty sure. But I
Of
don't
course!
remember.
No, it was in our very first few episodes, as in, like, season 1.
Yeah, the Layak is also like that. I covered her for
A shorty.
a shorty. Yeah, she's also like that. So yeah, her head breaks and then her internal organs are like trailing behind, and then she searches for like outhouses or like restaurants that have like buffets, because she knows that those places have something in the sewers where she can eat
Stop!
shit, her favorite meal. And yeah, there in Myanmar, they also have like witch hunters that can exercise these chi sarshon. I'm literally looking at the words and I said it wrong. What is wrong with me? But yeah, they put the lower half, the one that's left behind, because the head flies
Yeah.
off. They put oil with it, oil from the Tayao tree, which I did not search what that tree is.
For all we know.
But they call it the Tayao tree.
Yeah, I mean, like, for
Yeah, for all we know, it's just like,
Lana or something.
yeah, like in the Philippines. We also do that too to our mananangals. Like we put coconut oil, right?
Yeah, coconut oil or, like, salt on the bottom half.
But yeah, so the reason why they put oil is that because they can't retouch, same as the manananggal and like the layak, and then if they can't retouch by daybreak, they die. Yes. And the next ghost, that's it for
Wait.
Chi Sarshon.
Can I just, like, comment on how Asian this is? It's like your Asian parents not wanting you to fail. So they're like, if you don't do good, you're gonna end up eating poop for the rest of your life.
That is so true. This is like gaslighting. Do you want to become a Chi Sarshon? Is that what you want to be? Want to eat shit for the rest of your life? Hang out at like buffets?
This is probably that.
Could you imagine like being a Chi Sarshon and then people are like in a buffet eating delicious food and you're like waiting for one of them to shit so you could eat their shit?
Oh my god, this is like, is this what 2 girls 1 cup is?
Ew, no. I never want to think about that video ever again.
Well, I did not see, I do not want to watch. Like, people just tell me what it's about. So obviously, because I know what it's about, I don't want to.
We never showed it to you in
Thank
college.
God!
Angie was the one who showed me the video, and it was literally during the fashion show in Kafa. And I was like, where do I go? I need to breathe.
That's so traumatizing. But anyway, let's move
It was.
on. God.
So the next one is the Pyar Latte Nat, also known as the bamboo mat spirit. So they're kind of like whenever we have sleepovers and then we do like the Ouija board thing.
Right.
For them, what they do is that they roll up a bamboo mat and then dress it in a blouse and like the traditional clothes in Myanmar, like the longi, and then they invite the bamboo mat spirit to possess it. And then once it gets possessed, then they ask romantic questions like where their future boyfriends live, and then they need to like shake the mat so that it will show them where the direction. Once it falls over, after they shake the mat, it falls over, then that where it's pointing, that's the direction of where their like future boyfriend is. It sounds like innocent, but I feel like if they don't like, how do you call this, like say goodbye to her properly, she gets angry.
Yeah.
And yeah, You know how it is like in Ouija boards, like if you accidentally summon like a demon or something, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So literally all hell breaks loose.
This actually reminds me of Spirit of the Coin or Spirit of the Glass thing. That's the most common one we have. Like the Ouija board is very Western, I would say.
Yeah, that's true.
And then yeah, I mean, like, this is more interesting, though, because I feel like they get to...
They literally have to dress it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very ritualistic.
Yes. That is so true. In Myanmar, they're very superstitious. They still believe, not all of them, but some of them still believe in, like, animism and stuff like that, which I will be mentioning later. The next ghost is Ma Fei Wa, or the Yellow Ribbon Lady. So she is a Burmese Nat. So I searched up on like what's the difference between like calling people Burmese and Myanmar. So there is like an ethnic group that's like Burmese. So that's what they are. So there's like a Burmese alphabet, and then they're like, it's kind of like Tagalog and like Cebuano, like that. So yeah. So she's a Burmese Nat, and she's like the guardian spirit of graveyards and cemeteries in Myanmar. So not just in like a certain part, but like entire Myanmar. If you want to know what a Nat is, they are deities from obviously Myanmar, because we're talking about the country, and neighboring countries that has a connection to Buddhism. From what I know, Thailand also has like the same, but they call it different. They don't call it a Nat. Like I think they call it a fee or a pea or something like that. So there are two like categories of Nats. One is like the 37 great Nats, and almost all of them except for one are spirits of people that died a violent death, but while they were living they had like significant changes to their community.
Saints.
So that's why they became like a Nat. Yeah, basically I was about to say that they're kind of like the martyr saints of the Catholic world. And then the second kind of category is like the other kinds of Nats. There are so many of them, which are the guardian spirits. They guard the water, the air, earth, villages, even buildings. So they love to guard places. And Ma Fei Wa is the second kind of Nat. She is a guardian spirit because she guards the cemeteries. And she also lives in a cemetery because,
like,
yeah, that's, I think, why she guards it.
She started the home-based job.
That is so true. She's like, I'm a work here.
I'm a live here.
I'm a guard here. I'm a chill here.
It's like I wake up and
I'm a make it my home.
I'm already in the office.
Yeah. I find it interesting, though, like, a space could be like a space, but once you start burying bodies in it and make it a cemetery, she's like,
She's like, hi.
Got a new house. Sup?
Oh my god. That's
So, yeah.
like free property. Love it. Smart.
Yeah. She's usually seen at midnight when she takes into a human form, and she then carries a coffin onto her shoulders, and I've seen illustrations of her. She's usually illustrated as a very long-haired woman with a coffin on her head, not on her shoulders. But yeah, and then she has like a yellow ribbon somewhere around her.
Am I imagining this right? Like, because I'm picturing, you know how those basket vendor, or like, not basket vendors?
Like that, but a coffin.
Ma'am, are you okay?
That's how she's illustrated. And like the illustrations of her, she's literally like just holding it lightly. She's
That's
like, I'm
so
just...
vogue though. Isn't that how like models practice? They put a book or something stiff on their head so they can stand straight. Ooh.
See, she's like a trendsetter.
Exactly.
She started work from home, and then she like started those poses.
Love it.
Yeah, and then once she's like out there, it means that she would like go to the nearest town, like cemetery, and whichever is the nearest town designated to that cemetery, with her hair blowing in the wind, like her very long hair. And then once she stops by a certain house, she would put down the casket on the doorstep, and that would usually mean that that family, usually a child, someone from that family will get sick and die soon. So she's kind of like a
Grim Reaper.
angel of death. Yeah, she's that too. I mean, obviously she guards the cemeteries. She should have something to do with like
Something else besides guarding it.
Like, yeah. That's what she is. So in the late 1990s, Ma Feiwa appeared in the dreams of a monk in Cayenne State, and through these visions, Ma Feiwa announced that she has now intentions to eat the flesh of babies. And then after, like, so the monk was like, whoa.
Ma'am, take a seat.
This is a weird character development. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For thousands of years, you haven't been hungry for flesh of babies, and now you want to eat babies? But yeah, eventually the monks announced this to the people, and then they suggested that they should encourage Ma Feiwa to eat their dogs instead. So now, parents are now protecting their newborns by posting signs in front of their homes that say, "Our baby's flesh is bitter, but our dog's flesh is sweet."
Why?
They're literally like sacrificing their dogs. They're like, bye, you're not paying rent. You go. You go. Be our sacrificial lamb to Ma Feiwa.
You know what? Maybe you just don't need to have a baby. That solves the problem. You don't have to feed your dog, and you don't have a baby to feed. Like, come on, people. Okay.
Exactly. She's just gonna skip your house. But yeah, in the event that you get accidentally pregnant, sacrifice your dogs.
Oh my god, I hate that term. It's like, she's accidentally pregnant. What? You slipped on a banana and then hopped on a dick? What?
Yeah, the condom broke or whatever. I don't know.
Okay, let's take it as that. Jeez.
In an interview with BBC, a Myanmar medium called Yu Nine La Shui, he told a story about being a no stranger to the graveyards of Naypyidaw, which is the capital of Myanmar. So he told the interviewer that he was accustomed to meditating in graveyards around town. This dude has a different trip. He said that he was a devotee of Ma Feiwa, the coffin-carrying spirit, and she often came to him and asked him what he needed. And they were actually on excellent terms with Ma Feiwa. And he said about her, when they asked him what she thinks about her, she said, "She is the chairman of the board. She is in charge of all the other graveyard spirits in Myanmar, and she is very clean and very beautiful."
They are homies. Wow.
Yeah. I actually would want that. I wouldn't be like chilling with Ma Fei, because she literally is like, you know, the Grim Reaper. Like, how cool is that you're friends with?
Oh my god, wait.
A spirit.
You know what I just like thought of? You know how he said that she's like a board of director or something like that?
Chairman of the board.
What if they are running a cemetery Airbnb? Like,
how?
I don't know. Like, because she owns everything. This is Monopoly, guys. It's probably a business, because she also comes up to houses and being like, "I'm gonna drop this coffin here and take you to one of my places." I don't know.
That is so funny. I just imagine like her dropping off a coffin, and then all of a sudden the family members are like, no, you get it. No, it's your time to die. I'm still young.
It's like, your shuttle is here, room service or something.
And then the family starts fighting who gets in, and then they're like, you know what? The child should be the one who gets in, because they're barely alive. They're not paying rent. They're not working.
They're basically still potatoes.
Put the kid there.
I hate us.
I feel like that's the ending. No, I'm just imagining. That would be so funny. Anyway, so yeah, those are the 4 ghosts of Myanmar. So yeah, hopefully by the time you listen to this episode, Myanmar would be in like a better place, because we're pre-recording this. And like, as of now, us recording, it's not that peaceful there yet. So yeah, there are plenty of like human rights violations happening ever since the coup d'etat happened in Feb 1. Am I saying that right? The coup d'etat.
Yeah. How else are we supposed to say that? Coup
I don't know. But yeah, also I found out that the leader of this, like their military of the leader of the coup, he's very short, and then the protesters are making fun of his height. So yeah, it is true that short people are closer to hell, I guess.
This is why,
Based on him.
you know what? This is why when I buy shoes for my whole class, I always go with the highest heel possible, because the higher the heels, the closer to God. I'm a short lady. I don't want to be. I mean, sometimes you gotta be nice. You can't always be near hell.
That's true. And I feel like because, we're Asians and they call him short, so I feel like he's shorter than the regular Asian man.
He's probably, yeah. How tall do you think?
I think
probably
he's probably
five,
shorter than us.
5 foot. Oh, 4.
Yeah, or
4'11"? How
I
Cerizal
don't
is
know.
that you?
I actually didn't look it up, but yeah, I saw the protest images that they drew of him.
I hate it.
And then
drew him.
and then he listens to this episode, and then he's like, "Who is this bitch? Let's ban her." Because I've always wanted to visit Myanmar, and I'm like, no, I can't visit anymore. I'm visiting Myanmar with a mustache and fake glasses.
Wait, what's his name?
Dude, I forgot, but he's the head of the military in Myanmar.
Head of military. Hi. I'm just kidding. Min. God damn it, I hate his name.
Yeah, Min something.
Min Aung.
Min Aung Hai.
Yeah. Lying? What?
That's him.
I'm sorry.
This is us getting more banned than ever in Myanmar.
What do you call that? Persona non grata.
Yeah.
How do you even pronounce his name? I hate it because I start typing his name and the first search result is Min Aung height. I haven't even typed height, and that's the first suggestion.
Yeah, because that's what they make fun of him, because he's short, and they literally put images of him, tiny caricatures of him. So yeah.
But I don't think he's
anyway,
that short though. Wait.
Probably.
I'll keep looking for it. You keep the listeners entertained. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so caught up in this.
No, it's okay. I just really want to raise awareness with what's happening. Trigger warning. I'll be mentioning incidents that include graphic violence and violence towards children. Sorry, how tall is he?
5'5". He's not that short.
That's not that short.
But he's a guy, so I guess
yeah.
But yeah, he's not
also
that short.
It's dude, you're just 5'5" and you're doing all this criminal shit, human rights violations against all these people. How dare you be taller? I'm just kidding. Focus on your height. No, I'm just kidding. I'm short, so
we can get away with it.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we're not mean.
Because we're girls.
We're girls and we're not mean.
Dude, this isn't body shaming towards men. Being short is okay. Just
it's not a choice.
Be short and be
a dick.
A murderer. Yeah. That's
Pick
it.
a struggle.
Pick a struggle, that's true. So yeah, we don't know what their political situation is there. So because I tried to look it up, it's a long ass story ever since in the 80s. But this one happened, the most recent one, the coup happened in Feb 1. So it's another string of human rights violations. What we know is that the military are beating up protesters, imprisoning them, and then worse, killing them. Anyone who speaks out against the abuse or even in support of democracy on social media or anywhere are being jailed. So that's not right. I feel you should have the right to, whether you're a democracy or not, you have the right to literally say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right?
This sounds like Marcos' time in the Philippines.
Yeah, but worse. Probably. I feel this is worse because they're being filmed and they don't care. Unlike back then, they don't have a lot of documentaries, so they feel they could get away because they can hide. This one, they're nah, we're doing this in front of everyone. Also, do you remember the handsome monk who was actually the actor, but his picture became viral because he was a monk who was handsome?
I have not seen
Whatever.
that. I am missing out.
But yeah, he's that. His name is Pang Takong. He became viral last year because, he's a handsome monk, but he's actually an actor. They arrested him because he spoke out against the abuse, and we don't know what he went through or what he saw while he was in prison. What we know is that he's laying low and he's recovering, but he's now suffering from depression from what he went through when they jailed him.
My God.
So yeah, anyone who speaks out, like him, he's a very famous celebrity. He's like international now. They jail. They put people in prison just for speaking out, from journalists to doctors to actors to children. There are more than 40 children who have been killed during the protests back in March. The youngest victim was only 6 years old. Her name was Ki Myo Chid. It was during a raid in their neighborhood on March 23. The military kicked their door down without a warrant or a reason to search their house. They were just looking for protesters, and not even like protesters. They were looking for people who were pro-democracy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And when the door opened, they asked the father whether there were people in the house, and he said no. So they accused him of lying, and they began searching the house. At that moment, Kim Yo-chid ran over to her father to sit on his lap. Because, kids, they don't understand if it's like a visitor or it's an intruder. They shot her and then hit her. She died half an hour later while she was being rushed in a car to seek medical treatment, and she died in her father's arms. Her last words were, "I can't, father, it's too painful." And what's fucked up was that while they were rushing her to the hospital, back at their home, the police were beating up and arresting his 19-year-old son. So that's how fucked up their, military or whatever it is.
I have so many questions, but the biggest one of all is why?
Because they suspect that they're pro-democracy, or they are. I think they are, because I saw posts that they were posting about being pro-democracy. That's not a reason to, raid someone's house, just because you have an opinion.
They're scared.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
they're scared. They're a bunch of wusses.
5-foot wusses.
Yeah. Another victim, 14-year-old Pan A. Pugh, was an ardent supporter of the pro-democracy movement and had made several TikTok videos of herself singing pro-democracy songs. Her mother, Tida San, was afraid for her safety and didn't allow her to join street protests because she was still young. But what's amazing about the protests is that literally people of all ages, from I saw videos of it, there were spirit mediums, LGBTQ community, Myanmar, being gay, you could be stoned to death. So it's amazing that these people aren't afraid anymore. They're out in the streets.
I'm having goosebumps.
They really don't care. Their streets are full of protesters because they really want justice for all of these victims, and for, they just want to be free. They just want freedom. And so yeah, that's what happened. This girl, back to Pan A. Pugh, so her mom didn't allow her to go to the protests, but that wasn't enough to save her. On March 27, when she tried to open their door to help the protesters who were fleeing from the military, Pane Pugh was shot inside her house. According to her mother, she suddenly fell down. I thought she had slipped, but then I saw the blood on the back of her head and realized she had been shot. I think the military was actually surveilling her house.
They would have known already.
They were just looking for a reason to hurt her, and when they saw her that she was trying to help the protesters, they shot her. She wasn't even able to open the door. They shot her. March 27 was the deadliest day since at least 114 people, including 11 children, were killed. The last one on March 3, Chaosin or Jezin, I've heard
different pronunciations.
Different pronunciations. So it's either Chaosin or Jezin, but she's known as Angel, so that probably wouldn't matter. But yeah, she's known as Angel. She's a 19-year-old protester who was shot, and her story became viral. The Instagram account Change covered her story. Multiple
media,
international media covered her story. On the day she died, she was wearing an "Everything Will Be Okay" t-shirt, also because she was aware that there were dangers of taking part of the protest.
Yeah.
She had written her blood type details on Facebook and on her arm, like emergency details, and she also requested that her organs be donated in the event of her death. On the day of her burial in Mandalay, people lined the route of her funeral procession. Mourners sang revolutionary songs and chanted anti-coup slogans, and they carried and raised photos of her wearing her t-shirt, like the picture of her wearing her t-shirt that everything will be okay. Angel was known to be kind. She had kicked open a water pipe for protesters so they could wash tear gas from their eyes. On that day that she died, she tried to help her friend Myatu as police opened fire. According to her friend, she helped me. She told me, "Sit, the bullets will hit you." And he also said about her that she cared and protected for others. She loved her family, and her family loved her so much too. And he said, "We are not in a war. There's no reason to use live bullets on people because these protesters, they're not armed at all.
Yeah.
All they're holding are just
Like the signs.
slogans,
Yeah.
the signs. That's just it." And the day she died, her dad helped her tie a red ribbon around her arm because that's like the sign of being pro-democracy. Red is really like the color of being pro-democracy, and like you see in the streets of Myanmar for the protests. So his dad helped her tie it and even like help her get ready for the protest. According to her friend who posted a tribute of her on Facebook, they said, "Rest in peace, my friend. We will fight this revolution to the end." So yeah, that's it.
I hate how you said the night before that you think you're gonna cry in this episode, but I'm the one crying and I hate it.
Yeah, my tears are dry now because yesterday while I was researching it, I was like, I feel like I'm going to cry tomorrow, but yeah. Rest in peace to the heroes in Myanmar. I'd like to believe that they're like now the guardian spirits of the protesters, guarding them or whatever. So yeah, donate if you can. Sorry, Nick. Don't cry because I feel like I'm gonna cry too.
No, I'm just so
because I can literally
evil.
see your eyes.
No.
I can see your eyes.
It's just annoying that, you know how you just want what's good and you're trying your best to not be violent about trying to push those beliefs on others, and yet they retaliate through violence.
Yes. And what's fucked up is that what they do, the military, they would throw tear gas and then start firing. So literally these protesters can't see anything at all because there's tear gas everywhere, so they don't know what's happening.
And your eyes burn from that.
Yeah, it's really fucked up of what's happening in Myanmar. So hopefully by the time you guys are listening to this episode, it's all okay now. I doubt, but we're hoping. We're hoping for the best. Yeah. So yeah. Also, I'd like to commend Gen Z. Majority of the protesters are Gen Z. They're the ones who are
really pushing for this,
leading organizing these protests. What's really beautiful about this is that people are together, so together. The people of Myanmar are so together against this whole thing. They didn't have to do this, but unfortunately that's what they need to do so that the military will listen to them and get the attention of the other international countries that could help them. So far there isn't like much news about it. Like I see news about it, but not really like as much as it should be. There are a lot of like shit happening. Thousands have been jailed because of this. Like on the day the coup happened, there were like 23,000 that have been arrested since the coup happened. Not on the day, but since the coup happened. And then there are thousands more that are still detained. Hundreds have been killed. Literally, I saw the list of the names that they compiled so far. Most of them were kids. Most of them were like 19 years old, 22 years old.
So young.
Really Gen Z. And the Gen Z are like, they know that there's like a huge possibility of them,
Dying from that.
getting hurt, dying, but they don't care. They just want to be free. What they do is that even if this is like really serious and shit, but they still find the humor in it because their slogans, they put memes on it. They have like funny shit on their slogans. They put English signs to catch the attention of like international media so that they can understand literally Gen Z is the future. So I've seen like millennials fighting with Gen Z. You guys shut up because you don't know what it's like to grow up the way Gen Z is growing up right now. Like, you didn't have to stay for a year at home and study at home.
Dude, that is like such
you
a
guys
stress.
didn't have that. Yeah. I can't imagine. Also, why are you millennials fighting with Gen Z? Literally, these are kids younger than you. Like, why are you fighting with them?
I love how we're like, you millennials, we are millennials.
We are millennials. We are.
But you get what we mean.
Guys, stop it.
Come on.
So, yeah, that's it.
No, this is like still, I'm still digesting the whole news and my emotions. But thankfully I didn't like cry, 'cause that'd be weird. Jeez.
Yeah. To end this on a lighter note, let's just believe that they're now guardian spirits. They're now free and happy. And I'd like to believe by the time that this episode is out that it's already okay there. The last I heard on Friday, April 16, they announced that they already have the National Unity Government, which was like the opposition of the military.
Right.
So hopefully they are able to take back their democracy, and they just want to be normal people, guys. I don't know what's wrong with. Don't you get tired of like oppressing people and like killing people? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it takes so much energy to be angry for one, and then even more energy to like get aggressive and violent and start killing people. Like, guys, you need therapy.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Really, like, you do all of that just to control someone, like, that is not worth it. Donate if you can. We'll put links where you can donate in the show notes. I heard the border between Thailand and Myanmar, the Thai are sending over food, drinks, and medicine, and are also helping people cross the border. So yeah, if you're from Thailand or know anyone from Thailand, give them something so that they can help their neighbors as well. So yeah, let's do what we can to help each other, and follow us on Spotify
or wherever you listen to your podcasts too. If you want more information about this episode, you can also visit our website creepyconversations.com or watch us on patreon.com/creepyconvos. And thanks for creeping, you fucking creeper.
And remember, literally, the government is always watching you.
Bye.
Goodbye.